You think you know Costa Rica, but I guarantee you've never heard of these places. While millions of tourists flock to the same overcrowded beaches and touristy volcano tours, there are hidden gems scattered across this incredible country that even most locals don't know exist. I'm talking about places so remote and untouched that you'll feel like you've discovered them for the first time in human history. I've spent the last 3 years exploring every corner of Costa Rica, from the misty cloud forests to the pristine Caribbean coast. And what I found will completely change how you think about this Central American paradise. These aren't just pretty places to take photos. These are living, breathing ecosystems that hold secrets about our planet's incredible biodiversity and geological history. Today, I'm taking you on a journey to 7 of Costa Rica's most spectacular hidden wonders. Places where you can walk through forests that predate the dinosaurs, swim in natural pools heated by the Earth's core, and witness wildlife interactions that scientists are still trying to understand. By the end of this video, you'll have a completely new perspective on what makes Costa Rica truly special. But first, let me tell you about a place that completely shattered my expectations and made me realize just how much of this country remains unexplored. Deep in the Talamanca Mountains, there's a valley that doesn't appear on any tourist map. It's called the Valley of the Giants, and it's home to some of the largest trees in Central America. I'm talking about cecropia trees that are over 200 feet tall, and strangler figs with trunk diameters that would take 20 people holding hands to encircle. The journey to reach this valley is an adventure in itself. You have to hike through dense jungle for about 6 hours, crossing rivers that have no bridges and navigating trails that disappear during the rainy season. But when you finally emerge into this hidden valley, the sight is absolutely breathtaking. What makes this place truly extraordinary isn't just the size of the trees. It's the fact that this ecosystem has remained virtually unchanged for thousands of years. The indigenous Bribri people consider this valley sacred, and they've protected it from development and exploitation. The biodiversity here is unlike anywhere else in Costa Rica. I encountered species of birds, insects, and plants that I'd never seen before, including a type of orchid that blooms only once every 7 years. The acoustics in this valley are incredible too. The massive tree trunks create a natural amphitheater where sounds echo and bounce in ways that make you feel like you're inside a living cathedral. When howler monkeys call out in the early morning, their voices carry for miles, creating a symphony that gives you chills. But the Valley of the Giants is just the beginning. Let me tell you about a place that challenges everything you think you know about Costa Rica's geography. Hidden beneath the Guanacaste province lies a network of underground rivers and caves that most people never knew existed. This subterranean world stretches for miles beneath the dry tropical forest, creating a completely different ecosystem underground. The main entrance to this cave system is through a cenote-like opening that's surrounded by massive cecropia trees. When you descend into these caves, you're immediately struck by the temperature difference. While the surface might be sweltering at 95 degrees, the caves maintain a constant 72 degrees year-round. What's truly fascinating about these underground rivers is the wildlife that has adapted to live in complete darkness. There are species of fish that have evolved without eyes, their other senses becoming incredibly acute to navigate the pitch-black waters. I discovered freshwater crabs that have never seen sunlight, their shells almost translucent from generations of cave dwelling. The geological formations in these caves are spectacular. Limestone stalactites and stalagmites have been forming for millions of years, creating cathedral-like chambers with natural columns that rival any human architecture. In some sections, the underground rivers widen into vast pools where you can swim in crystal-clear water that's been filtered through layers of rock for centuries. But perhaps the most incredible aspect of this underground world is how it connects to the surface ecosystem. During the dry season, these underground rivers become crucial water sources for wildlife above ground. Tapirs, jaguars, and countless bird species depend on the springs and seeps that emerge from this hidden aquifer. Now let me take you to a place that will completely change your understanding of Costa Rica's volcanic activity. Most people know about Arenal and Poas volcanoes, but there's a hidden volcanic field in the northern plains that's actively reshaping the landscape. This area, known locally as the Thermal Gardens, is dotted with natural hot springs, fumaroles, and mineral deposits that create an otherworldly landscape. What makes this place extraordinary is that it's not just one volcano, but a complex system of underground magma chambers that heat the surface in dozens of different locations. You can walk through forests where the ground is literally warm beneath your feet, and natural hot springs emerge from rocks covered in brilliant orange and yellow mineral deposits. The biodiversity in this thermal zone is unlike anywhere else on Earth. Plants and animals have adapted to thrive in these elevated temperatures, creating ecosystems that exist nowhere else. I found species of bacteria and algae that can survive in near boiling water, creating colorful mats that look like abstract art. The therapeutic properties of these thermal springs have been known to indigenous communities for centuries, but the specific mineral combinations found here are still being studied by scientists. The water contains high concentrations of sulfur, magnesium, and other minerals that are believed to have healing properties. But the real magic happens at night. When the sun sets, the thermal activity becomes visible as steam rises from dozens of locations across the landscape. The contrast between the cool night air and the heated ground creates an almost mystical atmosphere where you can actually see the Earth's internal energy being released. Moving from the volcanic highlands to the Caribbean coast, there's a hidden mangrove system that represents one of the most important ecological treasures in Central America. This mangrove maze is located in a remote section of the Tortuguero region, accessible only by kayak or small boat. Unlike the more famous Tortuguero National Park, this area sees virtually no tourism, making it a pristine habitat for some of Costa Rica's most endangered species. The mangrove channels here form an intricate network that changes with the tides. During high tide, you can paddle through tunnels formed by intertwining mangrove roots, creating a green cathedral where sunlight filters through the canopy in dancing patterns. At low tide, exposed root systems reveal an underwater world teeming with life. This ecosystem serves as a nursery for countless marine species. Baby sharks, rays, and tropical fish use the shallow, protected waters to grow before venturing into the open ocean. The biodiversity here is staggering. In a single day of exploration, I documented over 150 species of birds, including several that are found nowhere else in Costa Rica. The mangroves also serve as a crucial buffer against coastal erosion and storm surge. The root systems trap sediment and absorb wave energy, protecting the inland areas from the full force of Caribbean storms. This natural protection system has been functioning for thousands of years, demonstrating the incredible engineering capabilities of natural ecosystems. What struck me most about this hidden mangrove system is how it represents the interconnectedness of Costa Rica's ecosystems. Nutrients from the inland mountains flow through rivers into these mangroves, which then feed the coral reefs and open ocean beyond. It's a perfect example of how every part of Costa Rica's natural landscape depends on every other part. Now let me tell you about a place that exists in the clouds themselves. High in the Cordillera de Talamanca, there's a cloud forest that's so remote and inaccessible that it's been virtually untouched by human activity. This isn't the famous Monteverde cloud forest that tourists visit. This is a pristine wilderness area where the trees are literally growing in the clouds. The elevation here is so high that the forest exists in a permanent state of mist and fog. The trees are draped with epiphytes, bromeliads, and orchids that have adapted to collect moisture directly from the air. The biodiversity in this cloud forest is extraordinary, with many species that exist nowhere else on Earth. The silence in this cloud forest is profound. The thick mist muffles all sounds, creating an almost meditative environment where you can hear your own heartbeat. When birds do call out, their voices seem to come from everywhere and nowhere at once, echoing through the fog in haunting melodies. What makes this place truly special is how it functions as a water tower for the entire region. The vegetation here captures moisture from the passing clouds, which then becomes the headwaters for rivers that flow down to both the Caribbean and Pacific coasts. This cloud forest is literally creating water from thin air, supporting ecosystems hundreds of miles away. The plant life here has evolved incredible adaptations to survive in this perpetually moist environment. Some trees have developed special bark that can absorb water directly from the air, while others have leaves that channel moisture to their roots. The result is a forest that looks like something from a fantasy novel, with every surface covered in a thick carpet of moss and ferns. But perhaps the most remarkable hidden wonder in Costa Rica is a place where two different worlds collide in spectacular fashion. On the Pacific coast, there's a section of coastline where the rainforest meets the ocean in a way that creates one of the most biodiverse ecosystems on the planet. This coastal rainforest extends right to the water's edge, creating a unique habitat where marine and terrestrial species interact in fascinating ways. The trees here have adapted to withstand salt spray and coastal winds while maintaining the incredible biodiversity of a tropical rainforest. You can literally swing from vines that hang over pristine beaches, or observe troops of monkeys feeding on fruits just meters from where sea turtles nest. What makes this coastal ecosystem truly extraordinary is how it supports both marine and terrestrial food webs simultaneously. Rivers flowing from the rainforest carry nutrients directly into the ocean, supporting coral reefs and marine life. Meanwhile, seabirds bring marine nutrients back to the forest, creating a continuous cycle of exchange between land and sea. The tidal pools in this area are unlike anywhere else in Costa Rica. The constant input of fresh water from the rainforest creates brackish pools where both marine and freshwater species coexist. I found crabs that can survive in both salt and fresh water, and fish species that migrate between the ocean and forest streams. This coastal rainforest also serves as a crucial corridor for wildlife migration. Animals moving between inland forests and coastal areas depend on this narrow strip of habitat to complete their life cycles. During certain times of the year, you can witness incredible migrations where thousands of birds, butterflies, and other animals move through this coastal corridor. These hidden wonders of Costa Rica represent something much more significant than just beautiful places to visit. They're living laboratories where we can study how ecosystems function, adapt, and evolve. They're repositories of genetic diversity that could hold keys to solving some of humanity's greatest challenges. And they're reminders of how much of our planet remains unexplored and undiscovered. The tragedy is that many of these places are under threat from development, climate change, and human encroachment. The Valley of the Giants faces pressure from logging interests. The underground river systems are threatened by groundwater extraction. The thermal volcanic fields are being eyed for geothermal energy development. But there's hope. Local communities, international conservation organizations, and the Costa Rican government are working together to protect these hidden treasures. By supporting sustainable tourism and conservation efforts, we can ensure that future generations will have the opportunity to experience these incredible places. The next time you think about Costa Rica, don't just picture the postcards and tourist brochures. Remember that this small country contains some of the most extraordinary and undiscovered ecosystems on Earth. These hidden wonders are waiting to be explored, studied, and protected for generations to come. If this video has inspired you to learn more about Costa Rica's hidden places, make sure to subscribe for more adventures into the world's most incredible and undiscovered destinations. And remember, the greatest wonders are often the ones that no one talks about.